The man called his dog over, suddenly grabbed the dog by the neck, ignoring the dog's struggles, and hauled him outside. He fell down the stairs while coming down, and even then he didn't let go. He threw the dog out of the apartment. Then the man turned and went back inside, but the dog just lay on the ground. His natural loyalty kept him from leaving. That night he slept under the car. Until the next day, a neighbor brought the dog back on a leash, threatening to call the police if the man abandoned the dog again. The man softened and poured the dog some food. He didn't hate dogs, he just couldn't accept becoming blind. But he still refused to use the guide dog QQ when going out. 3 days later the trainer returned to check the pairing. The man worked with the guide dog for the first time, and QQ performed perfectly. That night the man accidentally stepped on the leash. QQ immediately stood by his side. The man was deeply moved, so he took QQ out to poop for the first time in 3 days. He wanted to give QQ freedom, so he told him to go away, but QQ quietly followed behind, and from then on the man fully accepted QQ. But as a blind chef, he faced a lot of rumors and gossip. He couldn't handle the reality, and walked out onto the road. At the critical moment QQ rushed over and pushed him away. He didn't expect the dog to protect him so fiercely. He silently cried, filled with guilt toward QQ. However, the association ruled the man unqualified to adopt a guide dog. Only then did the man realize his regret. He apologized to QQ and left, but QQ followed him. He didn't want to give up on his owner, so the association agreed to give him 1 more month. In the time that followed, they stayed together every day. They went shopping together, played little games together, and were happy every day. He no longer faced life with pessimism. Even his wife disapproved of how doting he was with the dog. But one day when the man stepped outside, he suddenly felt very unwell. He collapsed to the ground. QQ immediately ran to the neighbor's door, which alerted the neighbor to the man on the ground, and the man was rushed to the hospital in time. It turned out his kidneys were failing. He needed treatment abroad. QQ could only be sent to a foster home. The man promised QQ he would definitely come back for him in 6 months. QQ sensed the separation and didn't want to leave, so the man threw a ball. QQ chased after it, but when he looked back, they had already driven away. The man didn't know. QQ kept chasing the car from behind. QQ lived happily with the foster family, always sitting long hours in the chair the man used to occupy, until 3 years later, QQ was diagnosed with a terminal illness, but the new owner refused to euthanize him, because QQ hadn't seen his beloved owner yet. One day QQ heard a noise at the door. He slowly stood up. The man had returned. They were finally reunited. They slowly walked together down the street. QQ's legs ached so much he could only hop. The man comforted QQ.
辛苦了，谢谢你。
In QQ's final moments, they went to the place where they once had a spring outing. Dogs are humanity's most loyal companions. Do you want to get a dog?